Well, we done diddly did it. We've got a problem and we're collecting more 5.9 common rails. This one is an 07. It's not stock. You may recognize it because this used to be our truck way back. In fact, this was the flagship truck of Diesel Power Products for many, many years. And a lot of people here have a deep connection with this truck, including myself. So let me reintroduce. It was formerly called the Hulk. It's probably going to stay called the Hulk, but this is our 2007 5.9 Megacab that we are really happy to have back in our stable here at Diesel Power Products. It's been gone since 2015, and it's back, baby. And it's just as good as we left it. I can't wait to show you guys what's going on with this thing. So, first things first, it's not small, she's tall. She's got one of the first Carly, I think it was, this must be, it's got one of the first Carly radius arm conversion kits on there. Like this was probably just after it came out of prototype stuff. It's got 42s, 17-inch beadlocks. Got some Sweet King shocks in there. You're probably gonna notice a lot of this stuff does have some surface rust on there. It won't, we're gonna take it off, we're gonna get it all redone. But the cool thing about this truck is it's fairly low mileage. I think it's only got 107,000 on it maybe or something like that. And when we built this engine, we did it right. It's always nice to see something that still works exactly as it did when you left it and hasn't been ran into the ground. So let's look inside this thing because it's still pretty cherry. As you can see, it's got a nice trim package on there, all leather. You got the center console, seat warmers. You can open up the back window. It's a beautiful truck. The seat is still nice. There's no tears. This just showing a little bit of wear right there, but beautiful. Really excited that this thing did not get hammered. Oh, the door locks still work. Got the back seat of a 3rd gen Megacab. Whoa, gosh, that door's. If you've never seen it, lots of real estate back there. Stereo on this thing has been done. It hits pretty hard because we like our tunes. As far as the back goes, obviously we've got our 42s here, full Carly kit in the back, airbags, it's got a FAS on there. We're going to be redoing some stuff on here because obviously it's got some years on it. This does have fiberglass bedsides and fenders up front. That's one of the reasons this thing looks just so But what I really want to show you guys is what's underneath the hood, because I took this truck for a drive yesterday and it made me giggle the exact same way the first time I took this truck for a drive in late 2014, right after I got hired here at Diesel Power Products. Let's take a look. All right, let's get this thing popped up. So, did I mention this truck is tall? So what we've got going on here is, if you've been following our COVID Cummins build, don't worry, we didn't forget about it. We got distracted because we found this thing. Plus, you know, tuning is not always the easiest thing to do on a very modified engine. But this thing has an ATS compound set on it, so it's a 3,000 over a 5,000, or it's a 5,500. I did double check on that because obviously it's about 10 years old. The engine's got one of our favorite camshafts in there. It's a Hamilton 188 220. It's got larger injectors in there. We honestly couldn't find the paperwork on the injectors. I cannot remember for the life of me whose they are, but they work really well. And this thing, I cannot express how punchy this truck is. Even on 42s, it's got 513s, it's got an Allison transmission, not Allison, it's got an ATS transmission in it, and you lean on the throttle and the tire's light. It's absolutely amazing and I love it, and it's just as fun as the first time I drove it. Story time, the first time I drove this thing was just after I got hired here in late 2014. Cooper came to my desk, dropped the keys off and said, "You ever driven a fast truck?" And I said, "No." And I took it out for a rip. Little did I know I was driving a fairly built truck, and I took it out to a parking lot and just matted it. Just put it on the floor. And it shook me so hard that I called my dad. I had to call my dad and let him know what just happened because I was absolutely flabbergasted. I torched the tires off, and it was moving. I was probably doing 70, 80 miles an hour before I even knew it. And that, my friends, is what absolutely hooked me on diesel performance. I was fairly hooked before I worked here, but as far as like actually seeing something that was making power, that's what did it. And taking it for a drive yesterday, that was the first time I've driven it and been in it since we sold it in early 2015. Same exact smile, same exact feeling, gets the heart going. It's just an absolute monster. So, plans for this truck. This is gonna get a lot of elbow grease. This truck has been sitting inside, outside, didn't get a lot of miles put on it, so it's gonna get a lot of elbow grease. But we're also taking the old mantra, if it's not broke, don't fix it. The injectors are working well. We're not gonna mess with those. The turbos are still working amazing. We're not gonna mess with those. We're gonna go through and just find the bits and pieces that need some attention, like this condenser right here, could use a little bit of love. We've got lots of rusty nuts and bolts, replace those. But for the most part, this thing works so well that we just wanna keep it working really well. So we're gonna be going through this thing, me and Jesse, that's right, me and Jesse are back at it again. We're gonna go through this with a fine-tooth comb, we're gonna check everything, and we're gonna get this thing back to perfect operating condition, and you guys should come along for the ride with that. I'm really excited. This is, I believe we're gonna keep calling it the Hulk, but we're not very good at sticking with names around here, so there's a good chance it may end up changing, but follow along on this build. It's gonna be a good one. I'm super excited, and you guys should be too. And again, don't worry, the COVID Cummins, it's coming back around. Our attention's getting put back on that because this thing was a little bit distracting. So it's gonna be a good one. Stay tuned.